live, and this hangout on there is live. In this audio, by means of a video, which I have my profile on, I'm going to discuss my my contrary opinion to mainstream belief that it's all about being a team, and that if you're not a team player, then there's something wrong with you. If you're not a team player, then you're quote unquote a toxic person. And there's many people that subscribe to this belief. Honestly, it's almost everybody subscribes to this belief because there has yet to be someone that I'm aware of that openly speaks out and challenges this opinion, this flawed belief system, right? Um, so what do I mean by I'm not a team player? I'm the watchdog, right? That's the title of this video. And what I mean is this: by default, you have the majority of human beings. They're mediocre. They are, right? We, especially in Western culture, if not all over the world, the majority of us, we spectate. We sit on the benches, and we spend our mornings listening to the radio, our lunches at the table, right? Our happy hour at the bar, talking about what other people do and why they're so great, instead of us doing what those people do to get to the talent that they're at, so that we can perform at the same level. What does that have to do with being a team player, right? Well, that's my point. My point is, by default, we choose the path of least resistance. We we don't focus on it's all about the client. We focus on it's all about the team, and that's flawed. That's flawed logic. And I get disappointed every single time I hear someone's YouTube video or I hear a podcast in which they talk about a toxic person and how it destroys a team. Well, how about this? I am that toxic person. And how about this? It's not about the team. And honestly, it's not about me. It's about the client and the preservation of the code base. Why don't you marinate on that? Okay. If it's all about the team, yeah, I stay in Miami right now, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Browns suck, right? They've been sucking. Every single year is a rebuilding year, and yet they still suck. What value is there to belong to a sucky team and go through the motions and not innovate on how to be better if the team is content with not wanting to perform at a higher level? They're still making their millions of dollars. So what incentive is there, right? That's an example of what logic is there, what value is there to be a team player if your team is not performing at what the vision of the company expects, right? I've been on a lot of flawed teams, and the way that they protect themselves is they use this mantra: we're a team, right? They when introduced to our idea of an individual being assigned to a bounded context, aka a subsystem, they they start having anxiety attacks, and they say, no, we're a team. I don't want to be held accountable for the code that I write that I don't know how to test, even though I'm a professional developer. I want multiple hands in the cookie jar, so that if there's an audit it'll be a little bit more challenging to basically diagnose me as an incompetent person that does not know how to write sustainable code. No, I want multiple hands on the file that I'm writing, because I don't want people to know how bad I am as a developer. I don't want people to know that the majority of the development costs being spent by the client, there is a human being writing a check, right? These people, for the sake of being a team player, they don't want to be held accountable for their part of a system. They want everybody to be responsible for the code base, which means ultimately that no one is responsible for the code base in regards to quality, because there is no accountability. So let's see. My intent, my objective is I'm going to destroy this whole notion of being a team player. All right. In fact, moving forward, there will be conversations, there will be podcasts, there will be discussions on not being a team player that's played out. Discussions are going to be on what it means to be a watchdog. Okay. A lot of people like to compare software development not to erecting a building, but to cultivate a garden. Okay. To cultivate a garden requires care and detail. Okay. Now, I'm not a gardener. I've never been a gardener. I did help my late mentor Dennis Ambler before with his garden, and there's some things that I observed, right? But the reason why I mention gardening, the reason why I mention cultivating, is because there is constant or consistent care that must be applied towards cultivating software if you want that software to be sustainable and receive more value, or should I say, for the users of the software to receive more value over time. Being a team player does not guarantee that. Being a watchdog does encourage it. Okay. I've worked in environments where, for some reason, they felt that they needed to hire a consultant. All right. For whatever reason, they believed that the current hands that they had, or the current developers that they had, full-time lifers, they needed help. Okay. So when a consultant comes on board, and this consultant isn't a lifer, this consultant actually spends time at different shops, at different cultures, different problems, using different tools. This person probably has a breadth of experience, let alone a depth of experience. Okay. As a consultant, my job is not to be a team player. My job is to deliver value by any means necessary. You know what's funny is, within the government, they call these people whistleblowers. Okay. And when you have maybe an organization that needs to supervise an entity that has too much power, they're called a watchdog. Maybe I should change this video's title to "I'm not a team player, I'm a whistleblower." Right? I feel like teams have, especially because it's human, man. That's the biggest flaw in software development, is humans are involved. Dave Rowe disagreed with that. He didn't like it, but I think it's the truth. Is people's egos are attached. My ego is attached. The code that I check in, that's my brand. I've gotten into arguments with people in which they told me to check in code that was suspect, and I said, no, my name's not going to be attached to it. You attach your name to it. You check it in. That didn't go over well. But that's the point. Someone has to care. So this whole being toxic, this whole not being a team player, that's flawed belief. How about whistleblower? How about we talk about that? How about watchdog? How about we talk about that? How about we talk about why does this person feel the need to expose their concern. Why is this person so uptight? Well, maybe this person really does care. You're going home to your family, right? You have bigger, better things that you look forward to. You don't value code as much as other people do because to you, you're just collecting a check. That's all you're doing. So just like most humans, you do just enough to get by. You prove me wrong, right? If I Google your name, what is it going to scream? Is it going to scream professionalism, software development is your practice? Or is it going to be absolutely nothing because you're not really Googleable? You don't have a professional web footprint. Well, other people, they enjoy this. This is their hobby. They eat, sleep, and amongst other things, they enjoy it, right? This is their life's blood. And so you call them not a team player. I call them whistleblowers. I call them people that are hell-bent on protecting this house, right? You're not taking that into consideration because you don't understand, regardless of how much experience you have, what ingredients are basically responsible for a failed project. So certain things that someone that you may believe have OCD, such as they're talking about your coding conventions that you use or that you don't use, that's confusing. When they talk about the code that you write isn't testable, yet the company thinks you're the most brilliant person or the most brilliant developer in the department or in the small company because you know how to solve problems. You don't know how to solve problems. You know how to put out fires that you created originally because you don't know any better because you're a professional debugger. You're not a professional developer. You spend more time troubleshooting your own issues that you create because you don't know how to do it better than taking the time to research, practice, and exchange ideas with others so that you can refine your practice. That's the difference between a watchdog, a whistleblower, versus quote unquote being a team player. The only reason why you get by in life, the only reason why you get by in your career is because of seniority and other people don't know any better. I'm the person that calls it out. I'm the person that whole company's mantra of continuous improvement, I practice it every single day where you just type it in and hope that people believe it, right? So this is what I'm saying. Being a team player is overrated. There is more value in pledging allegiance to a clean code base and sustainable software than to catering to other people's egos. Every time I hear the term or phrase being a team player, I translate that as catering to people's egos based on seniority. And it's okay if you disagree, right? But what I know is there's some truth to what I'm saying. And that's not being acknowledged. That's not being talked about. We're not talking about the whistleblower. We're not talking about the watchdog. We don't write code for the sake of being a team player. We write code for the sake of delivering value and making a difference. And I'm going to end it on that note.